I can tell you it is a great investment. The home that we built was less than $1 million, but a comparable home with the finishes that I end up with will be, I would say, a couple of $1 million in the Los Angeles area without the land.
Good morning. I'm Dallas Seeley, founder and owner of the Seeley Group, one of the top-ranked real estate brokerages, not only in the state of Texas, but the entire country as a whole. And so if you're watching this video right now and you're living in California, you're living in Florida, you're living in New York, Chicago, or anywhere in the country, and you're thinking about relocating to Texas, you're thinking about moving to Texas, moving to Austin, Central Texas, or anywhere in between, and you're like, this is a massive life-altering decision. I need help. We've got a special video for today. I've got one of our dear friends and clients, Miss Roe Hernandez. I'm asking her questions and asking her about how myself and my team made her experience of relocating from California to Austin, Texas as seamless and stress-free as possible. We've helped dozens and dozens and dozens of clients just like Roe move and relocate to Austin, and we can help you too. Are you excited? Here we go.
That sounds fancy. Like Tupac was your neighbor.
I wouldn't say that. Wanted to change, and Austin kept on showing up in the top cities to move.
Eddie can make mean Los Angeles, LA taco from the street. So big shout out to you, Eddie. Just want you to know. She brought the printout, people. This is what big dogs do. She brought the evidence. So I am here with the living legend of Lake Travis, Miss Roe Hernandez, and a big golf clap. We'll put this in the video. You are just looking like $1 million today,
Thank
young
you.
lady. I
Thank
gotta
you.
say.
I have to keep up with the company.
You came to play. So
Yes.
little background, Roe is a big dog at Wells Fargo. And, she went remote, and now she is one of our neighbors and dear friends. But we have you here today because you are one of many dozens and dozens of clients we have helped relocate from California to Texas. And so I've prepared some questions for you. And the goal today is just to talk about your experience.
Oh, thank you, Dallas.
Sound good. All right. First question, to give the viewers at home a little bit of background. What part of California did you live in, and how long were you there?
Well, I came from a suburb of Los Angeles to the east of Pasadena, where you have the Rose Bowl every year.
Yeah,
And it's an area called the Arcadia Monrovia area.
That sounds fancy. Like Tupac was your neighbor.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
Okay. And how long were you there?
In the area, in the general area, a little over 30 years.
30 years.
Yes.
Okay. So you were in the LA area for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads us to our next question. What initially spurred the thoughts and spurred the move to Texas?
Well, I would say around 2013, 2014, I was already exploring alternate locations in California. I wanted to change, and Austin kept on showing up in the top cities to move. Now, I've been to Texas, to Dallas and Houston for work, but I've never been to Austin. So that kind of sparked my interest.
Okay, so there's a big one to point out. A lot of our clients did the great migration during the crazy years of COVID. Roe, just like everything, she is a front runner. She is a leader of others, and she started many moons ago, back in 2014, 2015.
That's correct.
Okay, so when you started really going down that road, and after 30 years, I'm sure it wasn't a quick decision.
It was not.
It was a very big decision. As you began the process, what were your top 3 concerns about leaving your home of California of over 30 years?
Well, we do not have any immediate family in Texas. And Eddie is a native Angelino, born and raised, and you don't find that quite often. Most people are transplants. And, just leaving all that family ties into the unknown, basically, into a state that, both he and I have always lived in California. I mean, like I said, he was born in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So,
Big shout out to Eddie. I know he's going to watch this video. First off, number one, I love that man. Second off, as soon as you guys moved in, we had a battle of the best tacos. And I must say, as a native Texan who loves his Tex-Mex, that boy came to play with his tacos. Eddie can make a mean Los Angeles, LA taco from the street. So big shout out to you, Eddie. Okay, next question.
uh-huh,
You started the process in 2014, 2015.
that's correct.
Obviously, putting myself in your shoes, leaving your home of over 30 years to a brand new city where you had no friends or family. You could have moved anywhere in the country. Why did you ultimately choose Austin?
Well, Austin was not number one. It was actually Colorado. But then again, I have Eddie to consider, and my sister, and my granddaughter, Helene. And we took a vote, and they weren't feeling the cold weather. So, in the topography of Austin is similar, at least Lake Travis area is similar to California. So those were the factors. Basically, was the weather and just the topography.
Little sidebar now that we're homies and I know you very, very well.
Yes, you do.
I could not see you living in Colorado, just for the record.
Oh,
For the record. All right.
oh,
All right. So next question. That's a sidebar.
Mhm.
Next question. You started the search in 2014.
That's correct.
It was not a quick or small decision.
No, it was not.
When exactly and how did you discover the Sealy Group in your search?
All right. So the trepidation I had is that once I started this search, I was gonna get spammed, and I just didn't have time for that. I'm very busy at work. I'm in technology, and
It's a big, big dog.
no, I wouldn't say big dog. I'm just but so I was in my project management era. I wanted to do it and run it just like a project. But again, my trepidation was once I sent it out in the universe that I was going to get slammed, and I had to filter through that. So I believe with all the resources available to me at that time, because I'm starting from zero, I don't know anybody in Texas. There was, I believe, relocation guide that seemed pretty decent, but I knew that it was going to be sent out to several agents. And so I was prepared. I had opened an email specifically to provide through that portal so I could easily filter through any responses that I received as a result
You
of that
created
inquiry.
a new kind of semi-fake email? 'Cause
Well, I wouldn't say it's fake. It was legit, but it was separate from my regular email, so I could filter. It would be easier to
that
filter
is
out.
very Roe people. She literally was so purposeful and thoughtful. She created
Yes, I
a
was.
whole new email account because she knew once she got to the step of giving her info to the Austin relocation guide, all these newbie agents were going to be blowing her up.
Absolutely. I knew I was going to end up in a list. I mean, I had purchased homes in Los Angeles many, many times. So I know the drill. I know the marketing drill and all that. Plus, I needed to do all the legwork because the family wasn't 100% on board. Just the idea was so daunting of leaving what we knew to be home for 3 decades, over 3 decades. For Eddie, it was more than that. I had to be able to do all the legwork and be able to sell it like, look, lock and loaded. This is what we're doing. Here's the timeline.
Mhm.
Dallas, you know me.
So you create the email, you sign up,
Mhm.
narrowing in on Austin, you sign up, you give this new email address information,
Yes,
and what happened and how did that lead you to the Sealy Group?
I got spammed. Over 79 agents or offices have reached out. And mind you, we talked about the timeline in 2014, right? The year now is 2016 before I decided to pull that inquiry trigger for a relocation. Again, going back and forth, not knowing anybody in Texas, and Colorado being, the strong option there, if not for the weather, right? We're talking about summer of 2016 by the time I pulled the trigger of inquiring to relocate. True to its form, I got spammed about 79 plus emails.
Okay. And how did you?
There was one email.
There was one email. She brought the printout, people.
That's
This is what big dogs do. She brought the evidence.
surprise. It's from Amy Seeley.
I just love her.
Oh,
She's so great.
that's the reason I'm here. And you too, Dallas. Okay. But it was Amy I met first. This was Wednesday, July 13, 2016. And basically, the email, did not have that canned response feel. I know, I'm in technology. I know that she puts a lot of thought in these emails, right? That it's just not a form email. That I could just tell. Out of 79 plus responses, this one stood out to
She
me.
was the only one that put effort.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You could tell.
So you reach out to her.
Not immediately.
Okay.
That's the thing. I was still sorting through, sifting through, like, okay, now I got the bites. What are the next steps? So I can show you that I did not respond to Amy until October 17 of the same year.
So it's now fall
That's correct.
of 2016.
That's correct. She had reached out in the summer.
Okay. And you started doing email correspondence. After, when did you initially get on a phone call with her? And
October 17, 2016.
and when was the first time you flew out to Austin?
Feb 2017.
Okay. So timeline 2014-ish, give or take. That is when Rose starts to considering leaving LA, leaving California. We do over 3 years of due diligence, and we don't make our first trip out to Austin until the spring of 2017.
That's correct.
Okay. And then from there, what happened next?
Actually, from there, met up with Amy, and then I met you, and the Sealy Group was just blowing up at this point, right? I mean, I can say that I knew you guys way back when, and Amy showed us a few locations, but coming from Los Angeles, I didn't know what I was looking for. I just knew those locations weren't it. I just knew.
If I remember correctly, I think over the next give or take 6 months,
To a year.
Amy's you came out a few times, and
Few times.
Amy probably showed you 20, 30, who knows,
At least.
maybe 40 plus
least.
properties.
At least. In different locations of Austin. And again, I don't know Austin. I mean, my first impression was, of course, by the airport. Okay. It just feels like, the cities around the airport, like Los Angeles. So again,
And then if I remember correctly, you had come out for your third or fourth trip.
that's
and
correct.
She was either sick or she had a prior engagement, and so the coach tapped me on the shoulder and put me in.
Absolutely.
We saw 1 or 2 communities, and
That's correct.
I read the room, and I looked you in the eyes, and I said, "What?"
You basically said, Ro, you're not going to find anything you want. Why don't we just build you a house? Which to me was such a alien concept because we don't build, well, for the most part, we don't build houses in California. You buy resale. I mean, unless you want to live in the remote parts, which is impractical for most people.
So I remember saying, "Ro, you are such a woman of high taste and high caliber, and you so purposely know what you want to the exact detail." My suggestion, which a big nugget for you guys in some areas of California, is Austin is still booming with new build communities based off of your price point, your budget, and what you want. I would like to take you to a couple new build communities and let's explore building from the ground up where you get to custom select the majority of all your finish outs and the floor plan. How does that sound?
That sounds like an accurate depiction. Because we had looked at, a lot of homes and they were resales, right? Nothing was fitting right. And I do remember this. It was in the Dripping Springs. We came across this builder and I kind of loved the look, but the location not so much. It was really remote, but no longer remote now. And you had gotten on the phone in true Dallas Sealy style and asked, where are you building, basically?
What do you have coming up?
Where do you, yes,
Tell us your upcoming pocket communities that we don't know
pocket
about.
communities, yes. And it happened to be right around where the Sealies were going to build as well, an area that I hadn't explored because the perception was it was going to be cost prohibitive, being that its proximity to the lake.
Mhm. So you're now right by Lake Travis, but what I love now looking back, how
Yeah.
that really worked out um, for your overall family. Uh, Eddie, we were able to get him in. He's now at Lexus of Lake,
Lakeway.
and man, he just, can you see him on his motorcycle? Little 10-minute drive,
Little 10
rolling
minute
through
drive.
the hair.
Yep.
I can see it.
What's left?
I mean, he's living his best life.
He is.
That's right.
Yep.
Shout out, Eddie, right there. Shout out.
Okay.
All right. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
What made the home buying process with myself and the Sealy Group different and easier compared to all of your other past real estate experiences?
Look, we don't have any family in Texas. That's the one thing that I noticed in my earlier trips in Austin. Well, first of all, there was just an energy about Amy, and I'm very picky. Not everybody can be my friend. But Amy was so genuine. And coming from Los Angeles, I think I know a thing or two about people who are not genuine. So I can basically pick them out 5 miles out. But Amy just made me feel immediately like family. She was listening to what I had to say. And of course, Eddie was part of the process as well in Dallas. We become family. And Eddie and I are like night and day. So it's being able to mediate and balance hearing what Eddie wanted and what I wanted, and trying to take us to those communities and see what's hitting and what's not.
Beautiful. All right. Let's talk about some differences between the two great states of California and Texas. Next
Okay.
questions. What are the biggest differences you've noticed between living in California and now Texas?
Cost of living. I believe during COVID, I had my friends in California sending me pictures of, the gas stations and how much gas prices were. I think they were like at $8 a gallon. And during the height of COVID, believe premium was flirting around the low threes to maybe mid threes at the highest. So that's a big difference.
So cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
What's one or two others?
The people.
Culture.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And just at least in the Lake Travis area, just a sense of peace. We're at the point in our lives wherein we don't necessarily want to be in the urban jungle with, the rat race and hustle and bustle. So it's like, a pocket of nirvana. That's how I would put it.
Okay. So that leads me to our next question.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about gas, but tell us more about how does the cost of living compare, sort of more detailed, maybe talk about real estate and how has that impacted your lifestyle?
Well, I can tell you, it is a great investment. The home that we built was less than $1 million, but a comparable home with the finishes that I ended up with, will be, I would say, a couple of $1 million in the Los Angeles area without the land. I'm sitting in a 1/4 acre, which is not big for Texas because everything's big in Texas. But from a cost perspective, it
Okay.
would cost a couple of $1 million.
So just to recap
Yes,
for the
please.
viewers at home,
Mm-hmm.
you built a brand new home
That's correct.
on a 1/4 acre of land,
That's correct.
and you built a custom pool, and you were all in for under $1 million.
That's correct.
And so in your part of Los Angeles, to have your home on a 1/4 acre of land with the custom pool, how much, give or take, would all that cost?
A couple of million to three,
Okay.
3.25.
2.5 to maybe 3 million.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay. So
And then depending on the area. I mean, if you can get a 1/4 acre of land.
still today, from gas to groceries, but really the biggest is going to be real estate. You just get so much more bang for your buck here.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So to close us out, couple final questions for
Mhm.
today, boss lady. What is one thing you wish you'd known before moving to Austin?
Hmm. Um, what is the one thing I wish I had known moving to Austin? Well, we didn't predict COVID, so I was very grateful that I just closed my eyes and decided to make the move, because had I hesitated, and COVID hit, I don't think we would have made the move. Logistically, it just became very impossible, from transportation to the restrictions. Um, we enjoyed a little bit more relaxed because of the space of the home, so we were able to shelter in place, if you would call that, during COVID. COVID was it was a real experience, and having experienced it here in Austin, Texas, I think made the big difference. Um, I think in terms of the timing, everything just fell into place. I believe that we met the Sealeys at the time we were supposed to meet them, and so in retrospect, what could I have thought of? Not really. I think the whole experience of overcoming the unknown and just being decisive and pulling the trigger has actually generated very positive outcomes for me and my family. So,
Great. Next question.
mhm.
What would you tell someone currently living in California who's on the fence about moving to Texas?
Do the research, prioritize what's important, and it just depends where they are at in life. If they have younger kids, if they're already sunset in their career, and just know, like, what would be ideal for them for their particular situation. But I think more than anything, call the Sealy Group and leverage their expertise. I mean, you and Amy are native Texans, and it embodies what I actually fell in love with. Austin is how genuine and how friendly the native Austinites are, and how I was missing that. Like, when they tell you here, "Can I help you?" They actually mean it. And that's a running joke I had with my friends, that in a store, when you need help, you kind of just were resigned to the fact that you're on your own. Here, people actually come up to you and say, "Can I help you?" And at first, that was a little strange, like, okay. But people here are genuinely extremely helpful, and they mean it.
My favorite part in the very beginning, you came in and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna pick you up." You're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pick you up." I
Mhm.
roll up, and of course I've got my F-250, and you're like, "What the hell is this?" That was great.
Yep, getting used to Dallas Sealy's pickup trucks, big.
There you go. All right, last question
Yeah.
for you today, boss lady. If you could give advice to someone in California considering a move to Texas, what would you say, and how can myself and my team help them make the transition?
Well, number one, call the Sealy Group. I wish I had known. It would have saved me a lot of time. I mean, again, going back to timeline, right? From the time I had reached out, I still did not feel like I had a partner in this, right? That's why it took me 3 months to respond back to Amy, another 6 months to fly out to Austin. So I believe the gift here is introducing those people that are contemplating a move to Austin to call, or Texas for that matter, because you guys have exploded and expanded, and I'm very proud of you guys, um, is to call you guys and save a lot of time and, leverage your experience and expertise. It's not a one size fits all. A lot of people, just like our cars, Dallas, we custom build them just like our homes, we custom build them. And again, from somebody in California, I mean, it's possible to have the home that you really, really want and not just settle for somebody else's home and say it's good enough. You can actually have the home that you want, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not only in the home buying process, you are surrounded with a plethora of resources, which is a testament to how you guys do business. That from home inspectors to financing
To movers,
to movers,
land.
cleaners, landscapers, I can honestly say that, you're my phone call. Hey, Dallas. And you're very honest. You will not endorse people that you yourself will not use.
Right.
Because you know how I roll too.
It puts our if
I-
a vendor or a partner that we
Correct.
in gives a subpar experience, it's a direct reflection of
Absolutely. And that's what I love about the people you've recommended. And again, the home buying is just a part of it. It's what comes after. From it doesn't come with window dressing, so you need a shutters person. So it just goes on, and just how expansive your network is and the services that you offer. That's actually the value add right there. That it does not only it's not a one and done once that, contract is
and we
signed.
go deeper than just the real estate transaction.
Absolutely.
Most agents have a more transactional mindset, and not
Absolutely.
how we have built our business, and that's not how we.
The relationship.
And I think, looking back, you moved into your home
2019, May
one.
24.
Okay, so going on 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and if I don't get a phone call from you at least once a month, I'll
Absolutely.
call to check in. We've had you over multiple times for
Absolutely.
tacos and
Taco Tuesday,
margaritas,
yes.
and we've built something so much deeper
Then the transaction.
than,
Absolutely.
than just a real estate home.
When I met you and Amy, you had no kids, and now you are blessed with 3 beautiful children.
Yeah.
So I think more than the transaction, right? We've gone through journeys and even making the introduction. Now, I was fortunate that I didn't have to, relocate in my employment. I was blessed that way. However, Eddie, you had made the introduction to the Lexus dealership here locally, and we will be forever grateful for that because it allowed him to transition, from his employer in Los Angeles. So, I mean, again, the Sealy
And
ties go
that
deep.
was one of, going above and beyond.
Absolutely.
Y'all could have made it work, but if Eddie didn't get transferred here to Austin, it would have been really, really tight financially. And so,
Absolutely.
Amy was born and raised here. I've been here over 15 years. And so through our connections and our relationships, we reached out, and I was able to not only get Eddie an interview, but I basically made a personal phone call and teed it up for him. Right. And
You,
so
you
that made-
certainly did.
that made things a lot smoother.
He was actually the first one that secured employment. And, I mean, shout out to Eddie with his years of, automotive experience. It was kind of a shoo-in, but it was important to make that introduction.
Right.
And the rest is history,
The rest is
basically.
history.
I mean, they hired him on the spot.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, Ro, thank you so much for your time today. We so appreciate it. To finish off the high level recaps, at least what I heard you say.
Hmm.
Number one, after 30 years, very obvious this was one of the biggest emotional and financial decisions you have made. You did not take it lightly as a high flying boss lady. You went about it just like you do your day-to-day business. You plan, you were strategic, you were purposeful, and kudos to you for really seeking out the best of the best. And now looking back, it's safe to say, that we probably over delivered on the expectations and really
Absolutely.
have gone well beyond just a realtor client transactional relationship, and have really grown to become great friends, and we are your partner for life.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Bro, thank you so much for your time. I'm Dallas Seeley, moving from California to Texas.
And I'm Roe Hernandez.
There you go, the living legend of Lake Travis.
All right.
Thank you so
All right. Thanks, Dallas. People here are genuinely extremely helpful, and they mean it. Well, number one, call the Seeley Group. I wish I had known. It would have saved me a lot of time. You will not endorse people that you yourself will not use.
If a vendor or a partner that we
Correct.
recommend gives a subpar experience, it's a direct reflection of
Absolutely.
All right, we just got done interviewing and asking Miss Roe Hernandez on her experience from relocating from the LA market of California here to Austin, Texas. And here are my top takeaways. You ready? Number one, this was not a light decision. She started in 2014. She didn't fly out to Austin until 2017, and she ended up moving into her dream home in 2019. So this is a massive life-altering decision, and we didn't take that lightly. Number two, she had over 80 different real estate professionals reach out to her, and she ended up choosing Amy, myself, on her team because of what we do to go above and beyond to make the relocation experience seamless, right? Not only on top of that, we don't treat our clients like a transactional experience. We really go deep with you guys. We really want to roll out the red carpet and be that kind of Ritz-Carlton Four Seasons concierge to go above and beyond every single step of the way. Where not only during the middle of the experience, but even at the end, you guys know that we care. So again, my name's Dallas Seeley. I'm the founder and owner of the Seeley Group, one of the top-ranked real estate brokerages here in the state of Texas and the country as a whole. If you're living in California, Florida, New York, Chicago, or anywhere in between, and you're thinking about moving to Texas, reach out to me today. We're here to help. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.